Look at it. It's parking itself. It is parking itself again. Never seen this kind of ordeal before. Now we got some people on electric bikes coming through here. Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're back today with another Tesla FSD video, and we're going to be doing just some random destinations today. I figured it'd be cool to do a video where we just used the lucky feature. I actually saw Dirty Tesla do this, so on the off chance that he's watching this video, shout out to him. But I thought it was a pretty cool idea, and I'm in an area that I'm not very familiar with, and I think that's one of the best places to use FSD. So let's go ahead and we'll go into navigation, and we're going to go to all the way over to Lucky, and we're just going to tap on a random destination. So we've got one that's about 11 miles away. That's a little bit further than I want to go. Let's pick a different one. I'm trying to stick within a couple of miles of here. So we'll do this one here, Cape Henry Tours. And like I said, I'm totally unfamiliar with this area, so we will go ahead and engage. And surprisingly, FSD actually took off on its own without me having to press the pedal or do anything. Now it is immediately going to go the wrong way, down a one-way, but we're at a school, I believe, and it's Sunday, so I doubt anybody's going to be here. But that's not good. It definitely can't see the arrows on the road to tell which direction it's prohibited going. Now I am kind of surprised that there were no do not enter signs there. But one way or another, it wouldn't have read them either. So we had to immediately get in the left lane, and we're going to be turning left onto Hewitt Drive. Like I said, I'm really not familiar with this area at all, so this is just as foreign to me as to anybody watching. So it looks like this is a 25-mile-an-hour road. It's driving 30. I'm pretty happy with that speed decision. Kind of surprised by it too. Now we're on version 12.5.6.3, and overall this is probably the best version of FSD I've ever gotten. And I know that it probably doesn't look like that when the first thing it does in this video is drive the wrong way down a one-way. And in all fairness, I kind of set the car up because I thought I could drive through there. That's why I was pointed in that direction at the beginning of the video, but I guess we can't. But yeah, this is probably the best version that I've had yet. The highway knocks it out of the park. The city streets are so much improved from the 12.5.4 branch. And so I figured this was probably a good time to go ahead and do this video. So we're going to be on this road for about another half a mile, or 0.8 of a mile. Got another intersection coming up here. I think all these cars will probably be gone by the time we get here, so we might just be clear to go. Yep, looks like we're clear in all directions, so we will come to a complete stop. Something I love about this version, and to be fair, 12.5.4 did this as well. It comes to a complete stop like it's required to now, but it immediately goes afterward, and that's such an improvement from older versions, mainly like version 11, where the stops would be for almost a complete second. And that does not sound like a long time, but it is a very long time when you've got a bunch of traffic waiting on you. So we're coming to a complete stop again. We'll go. Now we got a bump in the road. Let's see if it picks up on this. Now the car in front of us is kind of slowing us down anyway. But oh yeah, it's definitely slowing down for it, no doubt about it. Goes over it at a perfect speed. Very happy with that. And now we'll continue on. Got another bump coming up here in a minute. Of course, we do have a lead car that is inherently going to slow us down. But it was pretty obvious in the previous one that we slowed down for the bump and not just for the person in front of us. Once again, good job going over that one. Went over at a good speed. We did offset a little bit for that shrubbery on the side of the road. So it looks like in 0.2 of a mile, we're going to be making a right onto Shore Drive. Something else I've noticed in this build, and this is definitely new behavior, is the car is back to making an effort to park itself. Now, it's not making a very good effort to park itself, but if I have some clips, I'll go ahead and throw them in right now so you can see it. Look at it. It's parking itself. See what I mean? So look at that. It is parking itself again. Oh, and I guess it's going to park itself in the handicap parking. Okay, it tried, but it's been a couple of parking lots now, 3 or 4 to be exact, that when I've gotten to my destination, it's hunted around and then actually pulled into a parking space. Now, some of the times they've been handicapped parking spots, and of course I didn't stay there. But some of the times it's normal parking spots. It's not doing a very good job of it. It's pretty crooked. It's not really straight between the lines. It's clearly just some behavior that's a result of some videos that the training or that the model has seen during training. But it is interesting behavior. And one of the reasons I find it so interesting is, sorry, I'm just checking to make sure that the traffic on the left is clear. So we could go right now. It actually kind of rolled that stop. And I'm not complaining about that at all. I'm actually glad it did that. But anyway, back to the whole parking thing. The reason I find it so interesting that it's parking itself again is when version 12 first went wide, it was doing the same thing. And I think somebody's car actually bumped into a car in an adjacent parking spot. And then all of a sudden, Tesla halted the rollout. And then when they did finally roll it out to the rest of the fleet, they had like totally nixed that behavior. It didn't do it at all anymore. So to see them bringing that back, I don't know if it's just, maybe it doesn't mean anything, or maybe this is a step towards the car making an effort to park itself, because that is supposed to be one of the features coming soon. Now I thought that was going to be with version 13, but there's also been some other things that have come to version 12.5.6 that I thought were going to be only version 13, such as we do get some notifications now when cameras need cleaning. And I haven't personally gotten those, but I think I've seen online where people are getting them. So we're making a right-hand turn going on to Diamond Springs Road. So far, this has been a really good drive. We are about 5 miles from our destination. I have zero idea where we're at, so I'm really enjoying this. It's always more fun using FSD on roads that you're not familiar with, just because when you're familiar with the roads, you tend to nitpick every move that the car makes. And when you don't know the roads, it doesn't bother you as much when it's going a little bit slower than it normally would, or when it doesn't take the exact path that you would take. It almost feels kind of magical, because sometimes I'm like, I don't even know how to get around this area, and then the car is doing it perfectly. So yeah, everything's going good so far. I've not had to intervene a single time. Now, if the car is saying the correct speed limit, we are going about 2 miles an hour under the speed limit. There's nobody around us, and once again, I'm not familiar with these roads, so I feel like I'm going plenty fast, so I don't really care. We got about 2.5 miles. We're going to be making a left onto Newtown Road. One of the things that I'll be looking for as we get closer is when does it stage over into the left-hand lane. I think one of the features of this particular build is earlier and more natural lane changes. I have noticed that to be the case. It's definitely getting over earlier. Probably not quite as early as some humans would. Like, you would think that at some point, if it turns onto a road, like let's say we're turning left onto a road that's 2 lanes like this, and ultimately it's going to have to make a right-hand turn, you would think that it would just automatically get into the right-hand lane, kind of like humans for the most part do. It's still not quite doing that, but I'm noticing that right around the 1 mile until the turn, it'll start getting over at that point. And some of you may be thinking, that's still a little bit late, and I don't disagree with that, but compared to what it was, see, I would have gone the wrong way there. It's so cool when it does something that I'm not expecting it to do, but it's correct. But what it was doing before is it was waiting until like 0.2 of a mile, even sometimes 1/10 of a mile, or it would totally miss the turn. There were plenty of times that for me, it totally missed the turn. So it's definitely a welcome improvement that it's doing it within a mile, or at the mile mark. So about 1.5 miles before we turn left, let's keep an eye on it. That's what I'm willing to bet on this video, is that at about 1 mile to go until we turn left, it'll pop over into the left lane, unless something else happens, like maybe this lane is going to end or something. Like I keep saying, I'm not familiar with this area, so, you know, we may not, this may not be a good example of it staging for a left turn, but it kind of looks like it will be. Now we got a squirrel over there. It did not run out into the road. A couple versions ago, I think it was version 12.5.4, a squirrel ran out in the road in front of me. We were nowhere near hitting it. In fact, it crossed the whole road before I even got anywhere near it. But yet the car still slammed on the brakes and came to a stop. It seems like in this build, though, all that brake slamming, for the most part, seems to be gone. I've had like 1 or 2 minor instances of phantom braking, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was on 12.5.4.2. I'm just hoping whatever the next build they put out is, that it doesn't have that third decimal point or the 4th number in it. So we're actually about a half mile from where we need to turn left, and we're still in the right lane. So I lost that bet. I'd probably get over right now, but the car is not going to get over right now. Or maybe there's something I don't know about. Maybe this ends up being a left turn lane when we get up here. And those are some of those things that, that's one of those things that, because of map data, Tesla might know, or the Tesla might know something that I don't know. And it's funny, I think a lot of people tend to think of the map data as being a problem in most cases. And I tend to agree with that, because you don't think anything of it when it does the right move. But sometimes it does, because of map data, know things way ahead of time that you don't know. And like in this case, since I'm not familiar with this area, I don't know what lane I really need to be in. I'm just assuming because it's the left-hand turn that I need to be there, but I could be wrong. And time will tell here in about half a mile. So we've got the green light now. We've got plenty of traffic around us. So if we do need to get over, we'll get to do some negotiating to get over that lane. I'm starting to think maybe this will be a turn lane, because we're at 0.2 miles now and we're still not over. So, okay, no, it's putting on its turn signal now. And we're actually clear to go ahead and move over if it wants to. So that was a little bit late, but it did make it over, so I won't hold it too much against the car. Did a really good job getting over into this turn lane, not slowing down and holding up traffic behind us to get over. We've got a yellow light. It came to a really nice, smooth stop. I would not have gone through that light. I think FSD made the right move, and it was right on that line of, if we were maybe 1 second ahead, I would have gone through it. But it made the right decision to go ahead and come to a stop, and it did it smooth. And that's one of my favorite things so far about 12.5.6.3 is the deceleration is so much smoother than on 12.5.4.2. And for this video, that's the last time I'm saying all those decimals. From here on out, it's just the current version or the previous version. So we're making a left here. We're about 2 miles from our destination. I still have not had to intervene at all yet. The car is doing an excellent job. The road we're on now is 35 miles an hour. I'm also starting to work on another summon video. If you have not seen my other summon video, go check it out when you're done with this video. I think it turned out pretty good, but I went to Costco, and I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it wasn't the most successful attempt, I'll put it that way. So I can't just leave that alone. I've got to go back. I've got to get a successful Costco run through a bunch of traffic and pedestrians. And I figure if I'm going to do that, I might as well make a whole nother summon video with a bunch of new parking lots. So I'm working on that. I started on it today. And wow, it did a really good job coming around this curve. I didn't even know that there was a traffic light here. And the trees were blocking it as we rounded that corner. And the light ended up being red, and it was slowing down for this before it could even see the light, or maybe somehow or another it saw the light and I didn't. But that felt really good, and it felt supernatural. Well, not supernatural, but very human-like. And so it's interesting. I'm in Norfolk, Virginia right now. Normally all of my videos are on the what we call the other side of the water, which is on the other side of 2 of the major bridge tunnels that allow us to cross the James River. But anyway, over here is a lot more populous area, and it seems like maybe there's better data over here or something. One way or another, the speed control feels way better. So I see a sign up here, something about a speed table. Okay, so we got something in the road that we need to slow down for. Ooh, I would have slowed down a little bit more for that than the car did, but it did slow down for it. It also threw on a right-hand turn signal that I'm not sure was necessary. And honestly, that didn't end up being as bad as I thought it was. I thought that was going to be a pretty violent bump. Ooh, I have never seen this kind of ordeal before. But wow, look at how good the car handled that. That was outstanding. I don't even know, what do you even call that? It's like a really weak roundabout, and like, what's the deal with this? Why is there a bunch of just dividers in the middle of the road? One way or another, it's handling it great. Here we come up to another one of those if you want to call it a roundabout. Wow. Super smooth through that. I am very impressed. So I guess we're turning right. Are we turning right here? No, we're going straight here. Okay, it's getting over into the correct lane. And we got a green light. We can flow right through. And we'll be turning right in 1/10 of a mile. And it looks like we got another one of these speed tables coming up. So we should slow down for the turn anyway. Okay, we're slowing down nicely for this one. Very nicely done. That was perfect. And we're making a right. And I kind of thought we were coming to a business, but I guess maybe this is somebody's business at their house or something. So I assume it's going to pull over to the side of the road, and then we will choose another destination. Or maybe it's this park. I guess it's this park, Romney Lane Park. To be totally honest, I'm not sure where the heck the car is bringing us to. Okay, so we're going to pull over in front of this random house. I'm going to go ahead and add a stop. We're going to do Lucky again, and we're going to pick one that's about 5 miles. We'll do Kayak Dolphin Tours. So we got the new destination entered. I'm interested to see if the car will just continue on or if I'm going to have to give it a pedal press. I don't really love sitting in front of random people's houses, so I kind of hope it just continues on its own. I'm going to give it about 10 more seconds, and if it doesn't go, then I'm going to give it a pedal press just to get it started. You can see it really wants to go. It keeps putting the path up there, but I'm going to go ahead and give us a tap and get us moving. I'm not sure why you need to do that. That was just, I barely even touched the pedal at all, and it starts moving on its own. All right, so we're off again. Once again, I don't know where we're going. This is about a 6-minute drive to where we're going to. So we're gonna have to cross this road. I'm interested to see how it handles this because it's a little bit of a hump here. So I kind of think it needs to scoot forward, get some better visibility. We're clear in both directions. It did a good job through there. I might have gone a tad bit slower, but I don't really have any complaints about that. Going through this neighborhood, it's given plenty of room to the cars on the side of the road. And it looks like we'll be turning left here in just a minute onto Ferry Plantation Road. So the first drive was almost flawless. The only thing I might have done differently that entire drive was the first speed table that we went over, which I've never been over a speed table before. I might have slowed down a tad bit more for it. It went over it at about 20. I probably would have gone over at about 15. But other than that, I mean, it did an excellent job. So pulling up for visibility, we're clear in both directions. Super smooth through all these roads. It just feels awesome. I think my climate just turned off. So we got a squirrel in the road. Let's see what it does. Oh, look at that. It slowed down for the squirrel and it offset a little bit. And now it is continuing on. So we're starting to get a little bit of reaction to animals in the road. Now we're still lingering a little bit slow. I think the squirrel kind of set us back a little bit on speed, but not a big deal. Our right-hand turn was coming up pretty quickly anyway. But it definitely saw the squirrel and it definitely reacted to it. All right, very nice job on that right-hand turn. We're gonna go up here and in about 2/10 of a mile, we're gonna make a left. It's carrying such nice speed up to stops. I mean, that just feels like exactly how I would drive. I'm so happy with how it's performing coming up to stops. All right, so we've got the green light now. The car is going. Very nicely done. Now we need to start making our way over to the right. Well, it's about 1.5 miles until we're gonna turn. It's doing a great job slowing down for this traffic here that was kind of sitting out in the middle of the road blocking us. Slowed down nicely for them and then continued on. once again, it just feels so good. Whatever they've done in the previous, or between the previous build and this one for deceleration, has improved it. Well, I'm not even going to say improved it. I think it's fixed it. So the previous version had really bad, this is going to sound contradictory, but it had really bad late braking and harsh braking. And if it wasn't doing one of those two things, it was slowing down too early and then creeping to a stop, which kind of feels awkward. This one doesn't feel like it's using manual brakes at all. It feels like it's just using regenerative braking. And it's so naturally coming to a stop. It feels just like a human would do it, or at least it feels just like I would do it anyway. So, interestingly enough, this is one of those situations where map data knows more than me. Being that we have a right-hand turn coming up here, I was going to get all the way over into the far right-hand lane if I was driving, but I see some signs up there that the right lane ends. So it was right to stay in this lane, or maybe it could have gotten one more lane over, but I'm almost wondering if that lane ends too. So we'll find out here in a second. All right, we've got the green light now. I'm very interested to see if this lane ends or not. I was also wondering if that blow up thing was going to be shown as a human on the visualization. Alright, so we're making our way over to the right lane. Pretty good timing. We had some people building up behind us who clearly want to go faster than we are. And it is really funny to me because I feel like we're doing such a good speed. It's really nice being on roads that I'm not familiar with because the speed control just doesn't even bother me at all. And I had somebody comment on a video, I can't remember which one it was, but they had a really interesting point that if the car didn't have the speedometer in front of you, would you be complaining about the speed control so much? And I didn't think much of it at first, but the more I drove around, the more I thought about it, and I think that they're right. If that speedometer wasn't in front of me and I didn't know exactly what speed I was going, there's only a couple of roads that it would really bother me on, and that's the ones that I'm super familiar with. And so anyway, I just thought that was some interesting food for thought. So we're turning right here in just a moment. We're about 3 miles from our second destination. And once we get there, we'll do one more of these, and then we'll call it a day on the video. Everything's feeling good so far. This version definitely has big improvements on the correction that gets applied to the steering when making turns. So the previous version would always start turns off. I didn't even actually think it was too tight, but sometimes it would start turns off at a tighter trajectory, and then it would open the wheel back up suddenly and then continue on. And it was kind of uncomfortable sometimes, but this version doesn't seem to do that anymore. It seems to be pretty much solved. So we're making a right. It's kind of funny, I've got a reference on the back of my car to self-driving, and I can always see people when they pass me, they're kind of like trying to look in the car and see if my hands are on the wheel. Anyway, this lane is getting ready to end. We're going to need to make our way over. I saw the signs a while back saying that this lane was going to end. I would have already been over, but I don't think that the car is quite reading signs yet, and I've kind of got a theory that that's intentional on Tesla's part. I think there's a lot that goes into having the car read signs, a lot of safety things, and I could be wrong about this, but if the car can read and obey instructions on a sign, I don't know what there is to stop it from doing something malicious if that's what somebody wanted to do. So let's say it has the ability to read signs and it can do things based on what the sign says, and somebody decides to be stupid and put a sign up that says drive into the next tree that you pass. The car is going to have some ability to distinguish between the signs that matter and the signs that don't matter. And there's just a lot of context that goes into that, and a lot of decision making that goes into it, that humans have common sense, and we can read something and say, okay, well, that sign clearly doesn't apply to me, or I'm definitely not going to go drive into the next tree that I see. But I think the computer operates a little bit more literally than we do. And so I have a feeling that there's probably some concerted effort to make it not read signs for the time being. And I don't know how you do that. But I'm just thinking, like, based on, if Tesla is truly just showing a supercomputer millions of video clips of people driving, and it's learning to drive that way, there's no way that the car isn't passing enough signs in that time that it would start picking up on, okay, well, when I see this sign, the driver always does this right afterward. And it doesn't really seem to pay attention to signs at all right now. So I would think that just based on the way that they're training it, it would inherently pick up on some signs, or like arrows painted on the road. It doesn't seem to really notice them. Like kind of at the beginning of this video, how it went the wrong way, even though there were arrows pointed right at us. So yeah, I don't think it's quite reading signs yet. And like I said, I think that might be a little bit intentional on Tesla's part. So we are 1 mile from our destination. I have not had to intervene at all during this drive. Maybe at times it's driven a little bit slow, but nothing that's bothered me. I'm only basing that on the fact that some people around me have seemed to want me to speed up a little bit. But it's done a great job, and it's been super smooth. So I think we're gonna make not this right, but the next one. That's funny, I might have actually accidentally hopped over into this lane, but it did a good job passing that one. It's getting over into the correct right turn lane. Very confidently taking the turn. Kind of slowed down for her and her dog. I don't mind that at all. We didn't exactly know what they were doing. Now we got some people on electric bikes coming through here. Handled that very well. It didn't slam on the brakes or anything. Now there was a little bit of movement in the steering wheel, but other than that, I mean, that was well handled, and I didn't even see them until after we had kind of rounded that curve. All right, so we're going over some speed bumps. I'm interested to see if it finds a parking spot here. Got one more speed bump to go over. And I just have absolutely no idea where we're at. So it's going to come to a stop right here. Actually, it's deciding to go over the speed bump now. I'm kind of hoping it goes and finds a parking spot. I think that'd be kind of cool. All right, I'm actually going to go ahead and take over here, and we're going to pick a new destination. I want to see if it can find its way out of this parking lot. So we're going to do one more. We'll choose lucky, and we'll pick one that says it's around 5 miles. The Norfolk Botanical Gardens, we'll take that. That looks pretty boring too. I think we'll go back to the original one if I can find it again. Oh, it actually seems to be, here we go, Norfolk Botanical Gardens. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and engage. I think it's gonna start on its own, very nice. Okay, well, to be fair, it wasn't a really tough parking lot to get out of, but it is finding its way out nicely. This man sitting next to the telephone pole is probably like, what the hell is this guy doing? Not slowing down very much for these speed bumps. They're not very big. Not super hurt about the fact that it's not, but I would slow down more for them. Okay, we are gonna make a right out of here. We are clear to turn. And we need to get all the way over to the left. Not bad. I may have tried to get over just a little bit more in case anybody comes up behind us. They would have room to squeeze over to the right. Now we do have somebody coming up behind us. Looks like they're going to turn left as well. And if we look at the visualization, I believe there's a little bit more detail to bikers now. You can hardly see it here, but the wheels on the bikes actually rotate now, and it actually shows them pedaling. So a little bit different visualization. It's pretty cool. Made a very nice left there. Kind of interesting lane decision that it made there. When it made the left turn, it ended up coming all the way over to the right lane. I've noticed it do that a couple of times now. I didn't really think much of it until now. This is like the third or fourth time I've seen it do it on this version. We're going a real nice speed through here. The speed limit's 35. We're doing 40. I'd probably be doing this exact same speed, so this feels really good. Hasn't been really a whole lot to talk about on this stretch. Everything's feeling good. Everything's been super smooth. Wish I could have found a destination that had, more turns and going through back neighborhoods. But I think once we get up to East Little Creek Road and we turn left, I think we'll start getting a little bit more through the city. So if you're still watching and you haven't done so yet, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I've got a whole list of ideas for videos that I'm going to be putting out in the future, so definitely a lot more to come. And then also, if you're watching this and thinking that you really want a Tesla, or maybe it's time to upgrade from that Hardware 3 car to Hardware 4, or whatever the reason, I do have my referral code down in the description. That'll get you $1,000 off of any new Tesla, including the Cybertruck, and I think it gets me $500. So definitely feel free to use that. Definitely don't go buy a new Tesla without using somebody's referral link. You're missing out on a $1,000 discount, which is really hard to beat. And then if you're active duty military, you can get another, I think they're still doing that, you can get another $1,000 off through that. And then the $7,500 federal EV tax credit. I mean, you're talking $9,500 in discounts right now. It's a really hard deal to beat. So we're about 1.5 miles from turning left. I'm looking to see if it's going to start making its way over soon. I think it's a Rivian electric Amazon delivery van. I've never actually seen one in person. But yeah, I'm looking to see it start making its way over to the left turn lane, or to the left lane to make the left turn, coming up here soon. Got a little bit of road rage going on behind us. I'd probably go around this car in front of us. They're going a little bit under the speed limit, which is kind of what was causing that guy's road rage. He was trying to get around us and the car in front of us, and then the other guy blocked him from getting over, and there was some hand gestures that were given. But yeah, I would be making my way over anyway, because we got to make a left-hand turn soon, so them going slow is just kind of like icing on the cake to go ahead and pass them. And we're getting that left turn signal now, but I bet you we won't actually pass them. We're just going to get over and block this lane. That's one of my few complaints left about FSD, is it's just really hesitant to pass cars in adjacent lanes. So yeah, we've gotten over now, and we're turning left up here at this light, so we don't really need to pass them. But if we had gotten over like a mile earlier and then ridden next to them, we would have caused some real angry people behind us. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Tesla dealership. We might end off the video by just going and cruising through the parking lot and seeing what's there. Sounds like we got a new rattle coming from the car over on the passenger side. I am going to schedule a service appointment I'm going to schedule it this week. Hard to tell when the actual appointment will be, but I want them to look at my seat, and then I want them to listen to all the rattles in the car and see what all they can fix. And I know how it's going to go. I'll bring it to them, and then the car won't make a single noise the whole time that they've got it. But the driver's seat, I've got plenty of videos of it now. My driver's seat creaks really bad, like when I scoot around in it or put pressure on the back or lean forward. You might be able to hear it here. Anyway, if you can hear it, it's pretty annoying. It does it 9 times out of 10 when you move around in the seat. So I saw somebody online say that Tesla replaced their seat that was doing that. I'm hoping they'll do that for mine. And plus, I thought it was just something that was going to be common on the Model 3s, so I didn't say anything when I first got the car. I should have in hindsight, but I didn't. There's really bad creases on the side bolsters of my seats. So we're making this unprotected left turn. I would wait until this SUV, that was like perfectly handled. Very, very nice. That was awesome. Now, once again, see, we make that left turn and we come all the way over to the right lane, when in reality, I think we came through here earlier. I think we need to be in this left lane. Yeah, actually, we've come full circle. This is where we started the video at. That's the school on the right where we went the wrong way through that parking lot. So everything goes full circle. So we're in the far right lane. We need to get over into the left lane at some point, I think, because our next turn is in 0.2 of a mile and we're turning left. So we're cutting it pretty close on this one. We're going to end up having to... Okay, there was a van behind us, but I think they're going around us. Otherwise, we were going to have to cut them off. Now, I've never been back here. This is the Norfolk Botanical Garden. Maybe we'll get to see some cool stuff riding through here. Got a Rivian coming up. I'm seeing a bunch of them around. I'm gonna go ahead and take over here because there's a gate up there that I think you got to pay admission to get through, and so I don't want to go through there. I'm not gonna count that against the car because I told it to come here, and it did exactly what I told it to without intervention. So our last stop, we are going to go ahead and run to the Tesla dealership and just drive through real quick and take a look at what's on the lot, and then we'll end the video. All right, let's see if it'll start on its own from here. I think it might actually go once this SUV passes. We're creeping forward. We're definitely moving. There was another SUV, so I'm glad that it didn't go. Very nice. It went on its own there. I did not even have to give it a pedal tap. So we are about 8 minutes from the Tesla dealership, 2.7 miles. We'll get there. I may pull the camera out of the car, go walk around the lot real quick, and then we'll call it a video. So coming out of here, we're going to have to make a left. I didn't see a whole lot of traffic when we turned in, so it's probably going to be pretty clear to go. All right, we're coming to our complete stop. We are clear in both directions, and it goes very nice. It's hard to explain how much better turns like that have gotten in the past 2 years. When I first got FSD on version 11.3, it was so bad about unprotected left-hand turns or just turning out into traffic, period. I bet you it would only get it right about, for me anyway. Now, I know other people have different experiences, but for me, maybe 1 in 10 times it would do it right. Or it might get it right in the long run, but you'd be sitting there waiting on all the traffic to go, and the car would be acting like it was going to jump out, like it would just jolt forward randomly. And it was super uncomfortable and not very trustworthy. it has come such a long way. Everything, this whole drive, which by the way, I have not had a real intervention this entire time, has just been incredibly smooth, very nice. If these were Uber rides or robo-taxi rides or whatever, I mean, I would have given the Uber driver 5 stars on this. All right, so we got a little bit of sun in the camera. I'm interested to see if that affects it at all. For once in my life, I actually remembered my sunglasses, so I'm good. Maybe it's because of me looking off in the distance at things, but my attention monitoring has turned off, or my visual attention monitoring is turned off. It's asking me to wiggle the wheel again. I'm gonna try taking my, I was gonna try taking my sunglasses off and seeing if that brought my attention monitoring came back on the second I took my sunglasses off. I'm thinking it was probably gonna come back on its own anyway, but we've got that back now. All right, so finally we get to take a right. Been sitting at that light forever. Very smooth right-hand turn, none of that steering wheel correction. Going a bit slow here, a little bit under the speed limit. This is a 45 mile an hour like main stretch of road through here. There's no reason for us to be going slow through here. Now there's nobody around me, so it's not bothering me much. I'm gonna let it do its thing. We're only like a mile from the Tesla dealership now. I think it's gonna be up here on our right. And as long as we make it into that parking lot without having to do anything, then I'm gonna call all of these random destinations zero intervention and pretty much zero flaws. I mean, it was done about as good as the car could possibly do it. I don't know how much more improvement you could find. Oh, very nice. Went around that car. That felt awesome. I was wondering if it was going to do that or not. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how much better it could get than these 4 random destinations. That felt awesome. And yeah, if you haven't used FSD, go give it a shot because this is pretty sweet. And we're here, and it looks like it's going to get itself into the parking lot just fine. Very nicely done. And I think it's going to go over here. Not sure why it's headed in this direction. I think the address to the Tesla dealership is actually to this abandoned building, so I am going to pull us around, and then we'll do a quick walkthrough of the lot, check out everything that they've got, and then we'll call it a video. All right, so we're here at the Tesla Norfolk dealership. We're just gonna take a walk around, see what all's on the lot. We got my car over here, 2024 Model 3 Performance in Stealth Gray. I see a lot of these performance models out here on the lot, and a couple of them in different colors, and I really haven't had the chance to check those out yet. So I wanna go see what those look like, specifically the red. I really wanna go see how that looks, because that's the color I had originally wanted to get. So right now we're over here on the service center side. And there's a lot of older Model 3s and Model Ys over here. I'm not sure if these are cars that have been traded in or if these are cars that are actively being serviced, but plenty of them over here. Got some cars over here that I'm assuming are here for test drives. Now that is the ultra red on that Model 3 right there. We're gonna look at the performance model of it though to get a little bit better view when we get up close. Like I said, lots of old Model 3s here. A lot of these still have the chrome trim around the window. Got a lot of newer Model 3s right here. All these are the Highland model. And then we got some test drive cars over here. Nice newer Model Y, Model 3 Performance for test drive with the black interior and black exterior. Got a Cybertruck over there, and I'm really not sure if that's here for test drives or not. If it is, I'm gonna have to come test drive it. I already have once, but it was a pretty limited route that they let you go on, so I'd like to be able to go on a longer test drive. So anyway, we got some stealth gray Model 3s over here, both all-wheel drive, dual motors, and performance models. And then over here, we've actually got the Quicksilver. I think I got the right name for that color. Very, very pretty color. I really like this. We got some with black interior. We got some with white interior. Only problem with getting any other color than stealth gray is that right now they don't qualify for the tax credit, but they definitely look good. And I don't think that these ones are actually here being delivered to any kind of customers. I think these are inventory cars because they don't have any kind of nameplates in them. Everything's still wrapped in plastic. And when you go online, it actually shows a lot of these as available for immediate pickup, which I ended up having to wait about a month to pick mine up, and I got mine back in September. So I think that was right when they were starting to roll out the Model 3 Performances to a wider group. So I think they're more readily available now. I really love this silver color. So we'll make our way over to the red one. And like I'd said originally, this is what I had really wanted to get. I ended up liking the stealth gray a lot more than I thought I would. And this is a slightly different red than on the older Model 3s, where it was multi-coat red, I believe was the color. So this is red with white interior. And if we step back, you can kind of see the contrast from the outside. The red paint on the white interior looks very nice. You can see that silver with the black interior. And then we got another red one with white interior. And the sun's kind of starting to go down now, so we can't get a really good shot of what this paint looks like, but it is a very pretty color. A little bit closer to the burgundy side than the multi-coat red was. And then next to it, we've got a dual motor non-performance in blue, also a very nice looking color. So we'll continue circling around the lot. We got some Model Ys over here that we'll come by in just a minute. Looks like somebody's taking a test drive. Got some more Cybertrucks back there. Once again, I'm not sure if those are actual inventory units or if they are here for somebody to come pick up. So we got some Model X's over here. Got all different colors. Got blue, I believe that's stealth gray. We've got the ultra red. We'll come over here and get a closer look at these Cybertrucks. Always cool to see multiple of them in one location. So interestingly enough, this one over here is a Foundation series, and it doesn't have a name in it or anything. So you can see the Foundation series etching in there. And it's actually the Cyber Beast. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it's got the three-headed beast on the back. So we've got a Cyber Beast Foundation series on the lot, and then just looks like a dual motor. I believe this is non-Foundation series. Let's come over here and take a look. No, this is Foundation series as well. And these do not have the wheel caps on them yet. I know some people are taking delivery or they're getting shipped the wheel caps. Now this one does have them, so we'll get a good look at those. Looks good. Coming over here, we've got an ultra red Model S. Very nice. And then a blue Model S Plaid. And this has got the white interior and the updated seats in it, which look very nice. I really like the black inserts on the bolsters. I think that looks very good. Now, I've sat in these seats and then immediately sat in the Model 3 Performance seats, and personally, I think that the Model 3 Performance seats are a little bit more comfortable. And we will come around the back, and you can see the Plaid badge right there. So if you were ever looking at the new Model 3 Performance badge versus the Plaid badge, you can see that this one's got a little bit more red in it. Now they are similar, but they are slightly different. And then we've got another Model S Plaid over here in black. And this one has black interior. Get a close-up look at those seats real quick if you can see through there. If we come over here, we've got a Model X Plaid, which I've actually never looked at the inside of one of these. So it does have a normal steering wheel. It almost looks like a cream-colored interior. Pretty nice looking. I'm sure it rides very nice. And then over here we've got the non-Plaid. Doesn't look like it has different seats or anything like the Model S Plaid does. And it also has a normal steering wheel, does not have a yoke. Over there, I know for a fact that those are trade-in vehicles, so it looks like plenty of people trading in older Model 3s, Model Ys, or their old gas cars. So that's pretty cool to see. Then coming over here, we're gonna go through Model Y City. Got some new Ultra Red Model Ys here. Now this has very similar interior to my old Model 3. I do have black interior in that, but this has still got like the legacy Model 3 interior. Still very nice. Got some black ones over there, a few rear wheel drives, a few dual motors. Looks like we've got a Performance here. Let's go around the back and we'll take a look at that badge. Now the way you tell on these older, I don't want to call them older, this is still a brand new car, but the new Model 3 has gone away from this type of badging. But on the Model Ys currently and on older Model 3s, the way that you tell that it's a Performance is if it has this red line underneath the dual motor. So this is a Performance Model 3. As far as an SUV goes, I think it's a pretty good looking car. And if I was ever in the market for a SUV, I'd probably end up getting one of these. I would want something that's semi-quick. So we'll keep walking around. Got a blue Model Y, a few white Model Ys, bunch of black ones. Here we've got a black Model Y Performance. Let's go see what interior's in this. Black interior, all wrapped up in plastic, brand new. Continuing on, got a ton of Model Ys here. World's best-selling car. And here we've got a white 2024 Model 3 Performance. I'm not really a huge fan of white cars, but in the sun, Tesla's white is beautiful. It's got a lot of pearl in it. Definitely a good looking car. I love all the black accents on the white paint. I think that looks really good. Looks really good up against the wheels. We'll get a good side shot of it. Yeah, that looks awesome. And then the white interior. Of course, the white interior looks great. That's what I ended up getting on my car. And right now for the Performance model, the white interior is no extra cost. So we'll come around and get a good view from the front. Very good looking car. That is the only white one on the lot. White exterior anyway. And then over here we've got a lineup of black 2024 Model 3 Performances. Some of them white interior. I think some of the ones down there have got black interior. This one's a little bit dirty. Looks like the birds have had a field day with it. Get some views from the front. Yeah, so here's a good side-by-side. You got the black on the right with black interior and then white interior on the left. I've really become a big fan of the white interior. And then over here we've got a non-Performance. I'm not sure if this is rear-wheel drive or if it's an all-wheel drive. Quick glance at the interior of it. Probably a lot of glare. That is a dual motor, all-wheel drive. And we've got some stealth gray 2024 Performances. Both of them with white interior. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all of the new cars on the lot. We're back over to the service center side now. And like I said earlier, I'm not sure if these are here for service or what they're doing here, if they're being traded in. Some of these have demo drive stickers on the side of them. Maybe they're rental cars or something like that. Here we got a Stealth Gray. Not sure exactly what year this is, but this is the prior to refresh Model 3. So you can see it's still got the old badging with the red line underneath the dual motor. I think this is prior to 2022 because it's still got ultrasonic sensors in the bumper. And white interior. Still a very nice car. If I was going to get a rental, this would be the one that I would want. But anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and close the video out here. That was a good walk around at the dealership lot to see what they got. If you've watched the whole thing, definitely appreciate it. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.